Hello there, it's Mike.
And Jesse.
That's right, it's episode 206, meaning it's Jesse time. Woo. This week it's spring break, so we're having a special episode where we go back to that part 428 of our Marvel discussion. This week on Cup of Brad. Hey everybody, we're back, and that's right, it's spring break, and we have Jestimus Prime, Jesse, here in studio, talking about onion rings.
Of course. What else would I be talking about? Honestly, really, there is no other topic worthy of discussion. Though I must say, 428. Are we really on part 428? It feels like
it's probably like 5 or 6.
I think it was, yeah. I mean, I know we do talk about it a lot. Maybe if they break it down into like smaller chunks when they're listening to it,
15-minute increments.
15-minute increments. Yeah, it would be about 420.
Yeah, for the TikTok generation, 15 seconds, and we've up to 1 million.
Yeah. Perfect.
That's what we should do. We should just break it up into 15-second moments.
We should. Why?
This episode is already, a week's worth of content on TikTok.
Excellent. Why don't we have our own TikTok? Honestly,
we could create that.
We could. We should. I mean, I'd watch it.
Yeah, there you go. We should just do trivia on TikTok.
Trivia. Oh yeah, TikTok trivia.
Yeah.
That would. I mean, there's no reason that we can't do trivia. In other capacities, like not just our official Bricklayer trivia,
yeah.
Right? We could do TikTok trivia. We could do Instagram trivia. We could do, I don't know, Snapchat trivia. I don't know.
No.
What are the kids using these days?
I am always dodging Snapchats.
Yes.
Now being in high school, it's like,
oh yes, I know what you mean.
Brutal. Like you just see them. They're like they pose, and it's like you can see yourself on the camera.
You see yourself in that little bit of reflection of you, and it's just like,
nope, not here for it. You did not get my consent.
Have you ever like just walked past a student and realized that you're randomly on their lock screen?
No, that's eerie.
Yeah.
Is it at least a picture of a friend or them and you're just in the background, or is it there's a full photo of you on a bearskin rug?
No.
Holding a brandy.
Cigar between my fingers.
Oh, at least it's, yeah.
Hey, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyways, yes, we are here. We are back finally for part 5. I apologize for it taking so long because it was mostly my fault.
That is true.
Legitimately, every single time I've tried to come over for this, I have gone to great lengths, either by spraining my ankle or just falling ill to avoid this conversation with you all. But he finally cornered me into it.
Yeah.
Couldn't say no. Ran out of excuses. So here I am. And ready to bring you part 5 of phase 4 of the MCU.
It's part 5?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's part 5.
You're like selling it hardcorely.
It is. I'm 100% sure it's part 5.
Okay.
Because I thought it was going to be 4, and then you were like, no, it's 5 because
it's at least 5, or it might be 6.
No, it's 5.
It's 5.
It's 5.
Okay.
It's 5. I mean, yeah. Unless you want to do like a part 6 where we literally just talk about onion rings and then.
I'm down for that. We should just do an onion ring episode. You should do some research.
Yeah.
And
I've done research. Thank you.
Just bring back it'll be like a food podcast, and we'll just talk about the history of onion rings.
Oh. Like
it probably will do better than some of our episodes. We sprinkle in some murder in there, we're set.
The history of onion rings is just like full of murder. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
A lot of tears.
Yeah.
A lot of tears.
Yeah. A lot of battered individuals.
Oh my God. So where we left off, we're not known to be a punny podcast. So
well, you are now.
Oh, She-Hulk.
Yes.
She-Hulk was where we had left before.
Yeah, when last we spoke, that was
last time on Cup of Rad with Jestimus Prime.
Yeah, previously.
Yeah. Now recount the previously and
previously we got to the point where She-Hulk was, I think, about a week or so away from airing, so we hadn't actually gotten a chance to watch it yet. I know you and Katie covered it after finishing it at some point, and then
briefly.
Yeah, and we had that, and we had Wakanda Forever on the somewhat distant horizon at that point, as well as the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, little did we know what treats we had in store for us. Still to come.
Exactly.
Still to come. So
She-Hulk, what were your thoughts on that series?
I had a blast watching She-Hulk. It was super entertaining for me. It honestly really kind of exceeded my expectations for what it was going to be. I did not go into She-Hulk with a lot of hope that it was going to be, one of the better Marvel series, honestly. Just because I think the trailers almost did it a bit of a disservice. In what they showed. So, but it turned out to be a lot of just goofy fun. Like, I loved the fourth wall breaking and the some of the cameos and some of the characters that went along for the ride. Overall I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
Yeah,
the trailers for me definitely didn't catch me because it focused so much on the romance of it, and I don't know if they were hoping to catch a different audience. And that's what didn't get me super excited for when it dropped. But when it hit with such a fresh, unique take that it really seemed interesting, and I had a lot of fun going into that first episode, and then it just continued to just be continuous fun, and then by the end of it, with all the fourth wall breaking and being super meta with how it was played out, I thought it was a really good change of pace for that in the MCU, which,
because honestly, that's been, I think, the biggest struggle for me with a lot of the Marvel series. I've enjoyed all of them on various levels and things, but sometimes it's really hard to walk that line between just taking yourself too seriously and then just allowing being able to poke fun at yourself, right? And the whole, I guess the genre as a whole. So it's after seeing so many series that took themselves seriously, and it was covering serious material and all that, it's nice to have kind of just a light, more comedic kind of take,
because it fell more into that sitcom feel.
Exactly
else, right?
Exactly.
That quirky kind of sitcom, which was refreshing because everything has been fairly dark for the most part.
There has been a lot of dark, a lot of heavy material. So it was a very refreshing, very nice break.
What were some of the standout moments that you had for that series?
I
know the hot button was the twerking, and I thought that was hilarious. I fucking thought that was hilarious.
I actually honestly love that. I thought that was great.
Because it fit the scene too.
It did. And that goes to what I was saying about it just not taking itself too seriously at all. I mean, to hear you've got your main character superhero twerking with Megan Thee Stallion. I mean, to be fair, if I ever met Megan Thee Stallion, I think I would have a similar reaction.
If she said to you, "Hey, I'm going to teach you how to twerk," I'm pretty sure most people.
Am I going to say no to that?
No. I don't care who you are, even if you're terrible at it. You pretty much, unless you hate fun,
you at least try. You put the effort in. It's Megan Thee Stallion. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Right. So
now I kind of hope we can make this happen. I wish I had a direct contact to Megan Thee Stallion so that
Should we start a GoFundMe? Get Jesse to Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, have Megan Thee Stallion to teach Jesse to twerk.
Yeah. And then culminating in an ultimate twerk off.
Yeah. I think that'd be epic. Can you get sick or something so we can make it like a wish foundation?
So make a wish foundation?
Yeah, because then it'll happen.
I mean, I could, but
well, I don't want you to die, but like, I'm just saying, like,
thanks.
I'm trying to think of the easiest way. It's not like we just hold up a sign that says, teach me to twerk.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's like temporary cancer.
If you figured this out, then you'd be set for life.
I would, but I don't know. That feels morally wrong. Like I'm, No,
not the cancer thing. No, I'm talking about the twerking thing.
Oh! If I get the twerking,
yeah, not the cancer.
Yeah, man. If you can figure out how to like just fake severe illnesses for the rest of your life, you're dead set, man. You're just set. You just donations, Make-A-Wish foundations, the rest of your life.
That's
okay,
exactly
yes, but no,
you like
twerk your way to the top. That makes a lot more sense and is a lot less dark and insidious. So, yeah,
I think you'd be pretty good to figure that out, and this should be our goal. I think every episode we have a goal that we never follow through with.
Oh, we do. There was like the onion ring food truck.
Yeah. That's just a long-term goal. We could still make that work.
Well, I mean, we could still make any of them work.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'd probably have to go back and re-listen just to remember what they all were because, we didn't actually write any of these down.
Well, no, there's audio proof of it all.
But there's an audio record, so why would we have written it down?
You know what? In 50 years from now, they're going to find this and think that like life was amazing on Earth.
Oh.
Or
dear.
What if this is being like broadcast and aliens are just like, damn.
Oh.
What if we are the first voices an alien species finds?
Oh no. This is first contact. In that case, if this is first contact and you are listening to us,
Jesse does know how to twerk. So come see.
There is more to Earth culture than twerking and onion rings. I'm just going to put that out there right now.
Whoa, is there? That should be a shirt.
There's more to Earth culture than twerking and onion rings?
No. There's just there, onion rings and twerking.
Onion rings.
We'll twerk for onion rings.
We'll twerk for onion. Oh, geez.
We should make that for you. Sonic Bark, if you're listening, that should be a shirt. That should be a shirt.
Do they do shirts too?
They're working on it. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
They're starting to really broaden, but yeah. We'll twerk for onion rings.
We'll twerk for onion rings. Yeah. That's the title of my autobiography.
Oh, please. That alone, that would garner interest.
And then if I could get the foreword written by Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
Like that would just be...
That would probably do better for you than some random guy that makes onion rings.
Yeah, probably.
But like you should have a second forward written by some guy that makes onion rings.
The founder of onion rings, Eugene O. Ring. Eugene O. Ring, the Irish bartender who accidentally stumbled onto the secret formula for onion rings one day and is responsible for bringing them
formula.
The absolute lips sealed secret formula.
I think when we were doing trivia, I looked up onion rings.
Did you?
And because we talked about doing a food category at some point.
Oh, so you know all about Eugene then?
Oh, yeah. He's a fraud. Because there is actually no documented proof of who created onion rings.
That's right.
And they've shown up all throughout history, different cultures, different recipes, different onions.
Well, yeah, because they're
like,
timeless.
but the states apparently was like, we created onion rings. Only like 50 years ago kind of thing. But they're like, no. Onion rings happened prior to that. Just it became more popularized in the 50s.
Oh.
Once fast food joints hit, right? So
I am all about the onion rings, but I will say that a very underrated product, in my opinion, is also the bloomin' onion.
Yep. That's true.
Which I had for the first time at the PNE many years ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty dope. It's like onion rings,
you slice
as
it
a
up
flour.
Yeah.
So you
the
get
Outback
like little,
Steakhouse does those too.
Yeah.
With like chipotle mayo.
Yeah, it's like I've seen it. Like, I don't know, is it like actually just an Australian thing, the bloomin' onion? Because like,
oh, I don't know.
Is it Outback that just popularized it?
I think they popularized it.
Okay.
Because it was probably quicker, right? Like instead of cutting all these like rings.
Oh, it's not. No. It's not quicker.
It is.
Because you have to cut it like multiple ways. Make sure you don't cut it all the way through. Then you have to dredge it. Then you have to batter it. Then like it's a whole process.
It sounds like you're talking about a sex tape, but
how many sex tapes have you seen that involve batter and dredging and like deep frying?
Well, you never actually said the words deep frying. You just said dip.
I know, but that was the inevitable conclusion. I said dredging, battering, and breading. Like
it depends on what kind of battering, I guess. I mean. So anyways, She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, yes.
Was there anything you didn't like about the series?
Oh gosh, let's see.
Let's incite nerd rage.
Well, I mean, I find with those series, like with all of them, it just there's always going to be like little slow bits that are maybe like little bits of storyline that I'm not super interested in. But I mean, overall, I really enjoyed it. There wasn't anything, I wouldn't say there's anything specific that I disliked about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved the fact that they brought back Emil Blonsky, and what they did with his character was just fantastic. Yeah. Like I absolutely loved it. It was, he was so great. Like it was such a contrast to the hard ass, rage filled Blonsky we saw in the original Hulk film. And like, it just like I thought it was brilliant how they brought him back and made him such a part of that. Like I hope we get to see more of him because there was that, of course, that little teaser of him in Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
So we knew there was going to be something more of him. Yeah. But I was.
Well, this gave more clarity to that teaser, right? And it was like, because it was actually the part of Shang-Chi, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yes. Then it shows you the time when this was going down. Right?
Yeah. So that was nice too. It's always nice when you have these things that place it in the timeline for you.
Yeah.
Because you're not always certain.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I can't not mention Wongers.
That would be my weak point.
That was your weak point?
Yeah. I think and it was funny for the first little bit, but the fact that
they kept bringing it back, it was like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Like it was pretty funny in the beginning.
Yeah.
But it was kind of an odd choice to have as a running gag for the series, I thought.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm okay with this.
You're here for it.
I was, you know what? It was the only thing about that was I just don't. I don't necessarily buy that, Wong was so into it. Like if he was just like resistant and against it and just like super annoyed by it the whole time, I feel like that it might have gone off a little better. But the fact that it was like he was almost just immediately just like into it and accepting of it, I feel like that seemed a little out of character for
her story was definitely interesting with the goat and all that. Like you really do wonder what really did happen.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, but She-Hulk, it was a fun series. Like I did enjoy it. Like I think back fondly of it. Now there's something that's different is that as time has gone on and these shows or the movies have, been out longer and reflecting on them. Katie and I the other day, we had seen a clip or something from Love and Thunder.
Yes.
And we instantly got frustrated, right? And we were realizing that we really have no desire to go back and watch it, right? But I think about She-Hulk, and I think I could probably go back, right, and watch it, and I still feel fondly of it.
I think so.
So hopefully, it would be that way if we did. But that was one thing I just popped into my brain.
Right.
My brain. All right, so Wakanda Forever.
Yes.
Wakanda you know Forever. What? Here's one that we didn't talk about.
What did we not talk about?
You can't tell me that we didn't talk about this one.
I can tell you anything I want. I have free will.
Yeah, you do. But like, Werewolf by Night.
You're right. We did not talk about Werewolf by Night.
Boom. I knew there was something else.
Oh, when did that come out?
October.
Oh, of course. Right. Of course it would come out in October.
Yeah, that was the thing I was thinking about. Came out in October because that's why I was thinking about Moon Knight because I thought Moon Knight was coming out around that time, but
Yeah, that was a strange one. That was one where I literally knew absolutely nothing about it going into it. And it was very, very kind of like, I had no idea what was going on in the beginning. Like, especially I was like, what is happening? What is this? What is this universe? What is going on? So, it was interesting. It was very different. I thought it was certainly enjoyable. I didn't have any objections to it. It's kind of weird when, like so much of the Marvel stuff that I have like some kind of connection to or appreciation of or knowledge of. So it's always strange going in and seeing something like that where I really have zero knowledge going in, because it's kind of like, am I going to like this because it's Marvel? Yeah. Am I going to not like this because it's something that I don't have a previous connection with? Like it's kind of like, where what's this going to be? Yeah. So, but overall, I think I did enjoy it. It was a long time ago.
So that for that though, it stands out because even for myself, I was forgetting about it. Yeah. I remember stylized. I like the visuals of it. But it's the idea where unless you were really into those characters, I think it's not one that stuck out as like a must watch. It's not something I would say if you're not like like you said, if you're not a fan of it, it's not something that I would say, oh, you have to see this. This is going to hook you on Marvel movies or Marvel Cinematic Universe or anything. Like, I think there was nothing that super stood out. I thought it was, it was a sort of an interesting story told with, interesting characters. But I feel like if I had maybe known a bit more of the mythology around it or whatnot, I might have appreciated it more, but it wasn't bad. It was just didn't blow me away. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that because I've pretty much forgotten about it except for the black and white and then man thing at the end. I stylized. I really did like the style of it, and it was kind of cool to have that Pulp Fiction-y style.
It was cool.
Movie. But it didn't necessarily give me characters that I was like super likable. I'm like, I can't wait to see them again. It was like, oh, okay, cool. This is just part of the universe in some form, right? Yeah. So Wakanda Forever.
Yes.
My thoughts have kind of changed since we watched it. Okay. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts because you also, but I haven't rewatched it. You rewatched it.
I have rewatched it. Yes. Yeah. So my original watch of Wakanda Forever, I will say I was not thrilled with it. I was a little bit disappointed with it, and I don't know how much of that has to do with just sometimes you're just not in the right headspace for a movie. Yeah. And even if it's something that you want to see or you've been looking forward to, sometimes I think you're just not in the right headspace, because as much as I felt disappointed by it on the rewatch, I enjoyed it a lot more.
That's fair.
I think I don't know. I it's hard to say what exactly made me dislike it. I was not a huge fan. I think originally I had a problem with Namor, the Namor character. I thought, they had such an opportunity originally to make him a more what I felt like they didn't on that original watch, that he wasn't a very likable character. And I was upset about that because he, being basically like a eco warrior in a lot of ways, there's a lot of potential for him to be a very sympathetic villain. And I've always enjoyed seeing the sympathetic villains, the ones that you can all understand and even see where they're coming from, and really like the ones that are just like one or two choices or decisions, and they could have gone either way, villain or hero, right? Like Killmonger, for example, in the first Wakanda. So, I was kind of hoping for, because it was a lot of the same people involved, I was kind of hoping for that sympathetic villain again. And I feel like on that first watch, I was like, they just really kind of made him an asshole, and I I think that kind of bothered me. The whole, like, I wasn't bothered by them completely changing his origins.
No.
I thought it was kind of an interesting thing, and yeah, I had no problems with that. Yeah, I watched it again, and I had a much stronger appreciation for it. And I don't know if it was, like I said, just the mood I was in, or if I just was picking up on more, or just going in knowing a little bit, more sort of what was going to happen. I had more expectations. I was able to just kind of like sit back and enjoy it, because there was a lot of, going into the movie, there was a lot of questions, right? Because of Chadwick Boseman not being there.
Yeah.
How are they going to deal with that? Who's going to be the new Black Panther? How are they going to reveal it? So, and I think I was more concerned about those things than I was even fully aware of. So, I think that maybe took away from some of the enjoyment too, because instead of just taking in the movie for what it was, I was like, okay, when are we going to find this out? When are we going to do this? When are we going to get to this part? When are we going to do this?
Yeah.
So I think, waiting, watching it again in the comfort of my own home, and being able to just really fully process things, I quite enjoyed it, and I thought it was great. I would still not say it's the greatest Marvel movie. Like, it's the best. Like, there are better Marvel movies out there, but I certainly appreciate it a lot more than I did on the first watch.
Okay.
So how has your opinion changed though?
I just don't care about it.
Okay.
So, like, cause Katie and I talked about rewatching, and we both were kind of like, do we want to spend the time to watch it? And both of us were kind of like, no, not really. Mm-hmm. I would visit Black Panther again because it was faster paced.
Yes.
And I think too, the lack of unique music in it, because that was one thing I loved about the first Black Panther.
Yes.
That this one just didn't have that. Especially, I was expecting, being the same composer and being that you were dealing with like an Aztec world as well as the African world, there would be some really cool like sounds to play through it. And I know that sounds funny to say, like the music is, but like I think back to things and I think it's dull. Mm-hmm. And like, I liked watching it when I went to theater. I loved that initial experience and I really got a kick out of it. And I liked how some of the things played out. And there's definitely scenes that I still think were epic scenes. But when we sat back to ponder the idea of doing a rewatch, I just didn't care. Yeah. And that is something that sadly I'm noticing about this phase. Looking back, and there's a lot that I just don't care. There hasn't been enough of an emotional response to want to rewatch. Yes. And with each one, it's hitting those same points. Mm-hmm. So it's, for me, it's that what is it that's really changed? Because I'm not the hugest like Thor fan or Iron Man fan or like, so it's just like, I'm trying to figure it out. But yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I really did like Namor just for the fact that it was a cool way to reimagine the character with all that, and make it kind of work in a different way. And I think the actor did a pretty damn good job. And I look forward to seeing him show up again. Like, yes, I mean, the way it ended with him, even though he had been defeated, like he was still like, you could tell like he was, it wasn't like, returning home with his tail between his legs. It's okay. This is how it is now. But you know what? Now, we're going to be allies with Wakanda, we're going to have, and eventually, and I think it was right. He was right. What he said is that eventually the surface world is going to come for Wakanda, because I mean, we saw in that movie, there was a lot of political tensions. And that actually I thought was really interesting because, the character of T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman's character, he had this grand vision for, making
Wakanda more involved in the world's affairs and providing aid and all this stuff. And it seems like since he passed in the show, they haven't they kind of backed down from that.
Yeah.
They kind of like there's still
because it was his vision. It wasn't Wakanda's vision,
right? It wasn't Wakanda's vision. So it was kind of interesting. Like that was, I thought, that I think is kind of, foreshadowing that more future conflicts between the world and Wakanda.
Because then the world doesn't necessarily trust Wakanda as well.
Well, that's just it, right? I mean, we saw, we saw that in the film, when they're addressing the United Nations and they bring in the French soldiers that attacked their facility. There's a lot of distrust with Wakanda, and I think there's going to continue to be more conflicts, and the more powerful that they come across, the more I think the rest of the world is going to be like concerned. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So
I still feel like there should have been something with Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character activating the Thunderbolts. Like this being kind of like almost that catalyst for her to push.
Right.
Like, to be like,
because we didn't have that very, very end credits scene. There was nothing there. And now I remember you saying at the time, like you were hoping that that's what was going to happen.
Because it would make sense with all that went down. Like it seems like it should have been, more of like because then that push forward, right? Like I guess with the ending of that phase and not having almost that clear movement of like, and without it being almost, because we all know it's all about Kang, but like there's going to be other things that
obviously forward, right?
So I think that's one thing I still wish there had been, like just that little bit of like this is
kind of an homage to the end credit scene where Nick Fury has like the Avengers initiative folder kind of thing, right? A little,
or even if that had been when you'd seen her in her office and stuff like that, like just something that had been a bit more like, oh shit, this is in the works, like, and we know it's not going to be on the up and up. It's going to be a bit more shady. Right. So
we had discussed that this was the end of phase 4, but there was one other little project they snuck in there.
Yeah.
And that was the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. And what did you think of that?
Okay, this is probably the one piece out of the entire phase there that is my favorite piece. It is the Guardians of the Galaxy special. Like when I was saying I didn't care about things, this one I cared about. This one I enjoyed. This will be like potentially an annual watch as long as it's on Disney Plus. Like I had so much fun with it because it brought back the goofy humor that the Guardians are, but it also brought back some of like the little bit of action, and it brought so much more heart, than what we'd seen before, right? So for me it was like, and the music like was set. So
again, going into this, I had no idea really what to expect, but I've always been a fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy, so I was really hoping. And then going in knowing that Kevin Bacon was actually going to be in it, I had some pretty high hopes. Yeah, pretty high hopes going into it, and it exceeded all expectations. I think the that first song is probably my new favorite Christmas song of all time. Yeah. I would definitely watch it at Christmas again. Definitely. Like it's got heart, it's got action, it's got everything you want in a neat little like 45-minute package. Mm-hmm. Like it's everything you would want from a Christmas special, Guardians of the Galaxy themed or not. Yeah. Like it's just, it was fantastic. It was really well put together, and just, it made me excited for the next Guardians film. Yeah, for one thing, but
because they felt more like themselves versus how they kind of felt.
Yeah, because they haven't really
in the Infinity War and all that. They even though Gunn helped with some of the scripting, they still didn't feel exactly like themselves.
Even and this even in Love and Thunder, same thing.
Yeah.
Like it didn't necessarily feel 100% like them.
Yeah.
So this was 100%. Yeah. So this was great. I mean, I loved it. It was. There's so much to love about this. Like I can't even.
Well, every time we go into Toy Traders and we see Mantis and Drax, the pops that they brought out with the funny little man and the big candy cane.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, should we do this? We're like, we don't need more Christmas pops, but like, it's a funny little man.
They're so good.
It's a funny little man. I believe Mantis is actually there. They have a holiday special hot toy of Mantis coming out.
Oh yeah.
And she comes with a giant candy cane.
That's awesome.
I was like, that might be something. Like that might be something.
I mean, those two just have like the dialogue between them was just so funny, right? And they have such great delivery between them. Like just such an unlikely duo,
right? But seeing them in the bar too, where they're just getting hammered and just having a good time, like. Yeah, it was just so much fun. Like you could just laugh and have a good time. I feel like the two things that I've enjoyed the most that have been on Disney Plus from Marvel have both been Christmas themed. Yeah, Hawkeye and Guardians.
Well, I would say that those two are by far the most fun to watch of the Disney Plus things too. And yeah, I don't know, maybe just everything needs to be Christmas
themed.
You know, just give everything a little jingle jangle, a little jingle bell rock.
It's all the eggnog in every cup, and But yeah, no, I got a kick out of that. Like, it's definitely one I enjoy. Like,
I mean, maybe instead of like Love and Thunder, we give Thor like cookies and milk or something. You know, Santa Thor.
Hey, that could be a whole thing. Yeah. The lore of Santa could actually be Thor. Maybe he created Santa.
Wow. See, this is another one of those things we should be writing down, but we're not going to.
Like, just imagine the ice giant battle that he would have to do to deliver to a little town.
Yes.
So it could happen.
Yeah. I just imagine that there'll be a line where it's like, well, you know, wherever there's thunder, there's bound to be rain, dear.
Oh, God. Oh, God. That just reminded me of Cars.
Oh yeah.
When lightning goes and Chick Hicks he's like, well, didn't you know what comes after the lightning, the thunder?
See, this is where you're going to be disappointed in me because I haven't seen Cars.
That doesn't surprise me.
No, but I know you're disappointed. Like, I know you guys can't see, but there's like, he's radiating disappointment right now.
No,
and judgment.
That one, I can totally. You don't drive, so I understand why you wouldn't have seen Cars.
I mean, I've seen Cars. I just haven't seen the movie.
Yeah. I figured that. You can't see Cars. I know what a car looks like. You can't see Cars. Like, it's like some Amish DNA in you that you can't see some technology. Right now, you just think we're having a conversation. You can't see the microphone.
Yeah, just all these people just floating down the road. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah. So as a whole, though, like that phase for you, like I've given my kind of like I just feel like it didn't really. There were some good moments and there was some good action, but like at the end of it, I just feel meh. And I don't know if it was like the oversaturatedness of like multiple TV shows and like a few big movies.
Right.
If that had anything to come into play or what it was. Like, I'm still trying to figure out what was the shift from the right. Like, I'll get it straight. Like, I'm not disappointed I watched them, but nothing really stood out so much that I'm like, I need to go back and watch these. Right. Like Guardians is about the other one, right? So,
well, see, I know, I kind of know what you're saying, and I feel like I can attribute that to two things. So the first one being the fact that this is kind of like Phase 4 was kind of like the Phase 1 of the next storyline. Right, because we had the whole Infinity Gauntlet,
or is it more like an epilogue to the?
Well, it's funny. It's funny because in a lot of ways, it kind of was trying to tie up some of the loose ends from the whole Infinity thing and the blip and everyone coming back. Like a lot of it did address that, but at the same time, it was sort of starting to introduce the new, the multiverse, the Kang, like all of that stuff, right? So, and maybe that was a bit of a struggle because they were trying to, progress, but also address what happened.
Yeah.
But also, like we need to move on to new things.
Yeah.
And so I think that was probably difficult. And then the second thing that I kind of attribute that to is just the level of epic that Endgame was. It's hard to top that.
Yeah.
Right. Because like any normal Marvel movie going forward after that, it's going to be like, how do you top that level of epic where you're seeing every single character that you love from the MCU doing their thing all together, battling this big scary baddie, and like, I mean, like, I just, it's hard to top.
Yeah.
I mean, that moment where Cap like grabs Mjolnir is like probably for me one of the greatest, if not the greatest moment in the MCU to date. For me, that like just for me, like that was just, there was so much leading up to that, right? And it was something that was hinted at, but it was never something that was like 100% gonna happen, and then it did, and I think everyone just kind of lost their shit a little bit, which was in a good way. So and I remember thinking after I watched that, I think I talked about this, like thinking how am I gonna be able to enjoy Marvel in the same way after this? And the Spider-Man movie, which came out after that, really kind of was the first time that I really felt kind of close to that level of epic.
With Far From Home.
With Far From Home, yes.
No Way Home.
Or No Way Home. Yes, sorry, No Way Home. That was the first that I felt close to those levels, and I was like, okay, you know what? They can still put out something that's going to make me have that high dose of endorphins during the movie experience.
That's fair.
But I think because of that, and then because like that was just such a culmination of so much work and so much effort and so much teases here and there and this and that, that whole movie, I think it was very difficult to then go back to where we're just watching these movies and then getting little tidbits handed to us, right?
Yeah. And
that's not to say that I haven't enjoyed it at all, but I think it's so hard when when you find a really great restaurant, you're going to compare all other restaurants to that restaurant, right?
That is true.
So I think that is part of the reason why maybe we struggle to fully appreciate everything in this phase.
I think you also have the fact that they put so much effort into the TV shows, and that was something new.
Yes, right? Absolutely.
We went from 2 hours of getting to know one character, right? And now you had 8 hours or 6 to 8 hours with one character, and you were kind of like, okay, well, this is new, right? Mm-hmm. This is a new way to explore, but you weren't getting, in a lot of cases, we weren't getting a story that was bigger than, say, the 2 hours we would have had before.
That's very true.
Right? Like
that's
nothing went through multiple arcs within those 6 to 8 episodes. They all were that same 2 hour movie spread out to that 6 hour time frame, right? Mm-hmm. So that was something I noticed, where it was like, almost feel like some of the shows should have had maybe a couple arcs, right, to really show the character doing some things, versus just that almost that stretch of like, this feels long.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and I mean, it could, I think, with the TV shows as well as the movies, I think a little bit of oversaturation plays into it as well, too, right? Because before, when it was just movies, you would get 3, sometimes only 2 in a year.
Yeah.
And so you had more build up, more anticipation.
Yeah.
And now it's like you're getting little doses of it all throughout and in between these movies. And so so by the time that movie comes out, it's not, you've been scratching your Marvel itch.
Yeah.
It was not as meant to be sexual in any way. I know it sounded like it, at least in my head.
MCU,
maybe that's just my head.
Disease.
Anyways, the MCU is the new STI.
Okay. Good to know. I think too, you also ended up getting a lot more like comic booky stuff sprinkled in through other companies, because like so many other companies were dealing with, Netflix had so many comic book based shows. Amazon does.
Yes.
You got a few more here and there. And then DC was kind of hitting a mini stride with a few of the things they were bringing out. So like, the comic book movie has hit in a big way.
Yes.
And more than it even did before, right? Because now everyone's trying to get their slice or figuring it out, or they're trying to be edgier or darker or, so.
And I know I have friends that have said that they're kind of just like burnt out on the superhero thing. Like they love it and they've been huge fans the whole way, but they're kind of feeling a little bit of burnt out with it.
Yeah.
And I get it. I mean, they're clearly not true fans and don't deserve to watch those movies. But
so what are you? Here I got something.
Yes,
one that you're burnt out that's completely Marvel based.
Yes,
Black Adam.
Oh my God! Why would you eat? Oh, you know what? DC could just go to hell for putting that movie out and making me watch it. Oh, I'm so triggered right now.
Oh no, we're shook, fam.
This is why we don't discuss DC.
I remember you going to see this.
Yes.
And I asked, should I bother? And I don't think I've ever received such, even on your worst days at work, I don't think I've ever received such an angry, hateful message. Like, you would have thought that I just like walked into your house and shat in your coffee cup and then, messaged you and said like, how was that? Like,
I know, because you were kind of expecting like a yes or no answer, and what you got was more of a angry
it was post. Beautiful. It was amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, but like I've never experienced that level of rage from you. And I think that's what was taken back from it, because it was like, oh wow, it must have been terrible then. Cause like,
well, it's just it was it was a bad time. Like I'm thinking
I don't even think we really spent much time talking about when me and Katie finally did watch it.
You guys fortunately had the similar opinion that it was just terrible.
Yeah.
Thank God for that, because otherwise I don't know if we could have continued this this ongoing relationship.
On rewatching it, I could see that what they were trying to do.
Oh no, there will be no rewatching.
They were actually bringing back the grandeur that was a Snyderverse within.
Oh gosh, no. Oh no! Don't even compare like Schneider's cut of Justice League to that piece of absolute garbage. You know what?
This is a moment where I'm hoping we triggered someone.
I will no longer be referring to him as the Rock. He is now the Pebble. He is diminished. He's been diminished by this film. And I feel bad, because I know he worked so long and hard to get this movie made. And I understand his
17 years.
And I understand, even like the motivations behind it and wanting to do it, but it just turned into such an ego piece.
Oh yeah. Well, like, it still is. Did you hear about the fact that he blocked characters from Black Adam from showing up in Shazam 2? They were going to put the JSA in like an end credits or something, and he blocked that. He blocked him showing up because of his punch for punch deal that he has to have. Like this movie has brought out his ego in like the worst possible way.
Yeah.
To show how much that he really is kind of a dick.
Yeah. He's kind of a narcissist, you know? And, you know, I think and the thing that bugs me so most is like the one sort of kind of neat redeeming thing was the Superman cameo, right? But it was so cheesy for one thing, like, Black Adam, we need to talk. Like, oh my God, who talks like that? Nobody talks like that. Unless you're like I could see like maybe like Adam West Batman talking like that back in the 60s, but like, Joker, we need to talk.
Yeah.
That was a terrible Adam West impersonation. Well, I apologize. But then not only that, but then he's not even Superman anymore.
Well, I think too, which was hard though, was that it played up the dark Superman so much, and coming in a bright and shiny like metallic suit, and he instantly threatens Black Adam, right? And the fact that he's Waller's lapdog too.
Oh
like,
yeah, that's
completely felt out of place. Like,
oh yeah, like the fact that, oh yeah,
right, like that idea where it's like, hold on, like this isn't really Superman, like.
Superman doesn't do that.
Right? Like he went over to Kandahar just to threaten him?
No, he would have gone over to try and talk to him and like say like, hey, look, you know, we got this, I got this team of weirdos and when we do cool stuff together, and you know, maybe you consider ditching your jackassery ways and joining us. But no. But no, he's a bad guy, but he does his own thing, but don't call him a hero, but he's gonna do
he definitely needs a Snickers. So anyways, I just had to because I wanted you all to experience some of the rage from
and there's another thing. No, I'm just kidding. I won't. That'll be an entirely separate episode. If there's enough interest, if you guys just want to hear like 60 minutes of me just absolutely trashing this movie, I'll gladly deliver that. But I feel like that's taking away from what we're really here to do. That's right true. Now. That's true. You know, just talk about the MCU. Yeah. Nothing the MCU has done will ever be as bad. Oh well, there was Morbius.
Well, they didn't technically do that one.
No, I know, but it is a Marvel
Did
thing.
you watch that?
Oh, in theaters.
Oh, you poor man. It's free on Amazon.
But that was bad in a different way.
It's free on Amazon, and I haven't brought myself to do it. After Black Adam,
yes,
I was just like, nope.
Nope. It's not as enraging as Black Adam. It's like, you know, you watch Black Adam, and I'm just so mad that this piece of like propagandist BS, egotistical, here's take the rock to the face kind of thing happened. Yeah. But I watched Morbius and it's just, I'm just sad. Like, oh God, like I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah. They just, someone actually got paid to make it.
Oh, like this is the best you could do with this character. Like,
it's another case where I just don't think Sony should be making villain movies.
No.
Right? That to also kind of make them like hero-y villains. Yeah. Because like that's what they're doing in Kraven.
And that's what they did with Venom. And like, I still haven't seen the second Venom.
Don't. Yeah. That was the, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to watch anything else that Sony's doing when it comes to just making these hero villainy movies because they just want to hold on to those rights.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And they're not doing it right. And it's just, oh God, I can't believe they re-released Morbius in the theater too. Like,
yeah.
They really thought that was a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Don't give these people who make bad movies ideas that these things can happen. But you know what? Honestly, I was kind of feeling it already a little bit. But Black Adam kind of was the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, I'm just I'm kind of over The Rock.
Yeah.
You know, like he had his heyday where he was making it, and you could forgive the fact that basically every character was the same character. Yeah. But I'm at the point, like, I'm over it. Yeah. I'm over him. Like, I don't.
Like, I really liked him in Fast 5. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I did like the reboot of Jumanji. That was the second one, not
Jungle
so much.
Jungle Cruise was good.
Jungle Cruise was pretty fun.
Yeah, Jumanji was great.
But yeah, he's hit his stride.
But now I'm just like, I'm over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got rock fatigue.
Yeah.
You know, stone sadness.
There we go. Puns never end.
Pebble perturbance.
Oh. So we got our first taste of the next phase. So we're going to talk about that.
I would love to talk about that.
Okay.
That was, yeah.
All right, so the next phase has begun, and we are treated with the third in the trilogy, the first actual trilogy to be completed in the MCU by the same director, Ant-Man and the Wasp in Quantum Mania. So what are your thoughts? Because you can go back a few episodes, not many actually, like only like 4, to hear our thoughts.
Right. Yes, you've already spilled the tea on.
It's all fresh.
It's all fresh. Yeah, it is the freshest entry in the MCU. I think the next thing that we have coming up is Secret Invasion.
Guardians.
No, Guardians first. When's that come out?
May 5th.
Is that May? My gosh, that's not even that far away. Mm-hmm. I thought Secret Invasion was April though.
No, it's looking to be like June.
Oh,
that's the rumored.
Okay,
June or July now.
Well, what do I know?
So.
What do I know about Marvel?
Disney and Marvel have not confirmed its release date.
Oh, I thought I saw a poster that said...
Yeah, sites are saying June, July.
Oh, okay.
So, but who knows?
I guess you can't trust everything you see on the internet. No. But Ant-Man, yes. So the return of Scott Lang and his wacky compadres. I know I should write taglines for these movies.
The tamest of all his wacky compadres.
The tamest of all his wacky compadres, yes. So this was of course the first time seeing a film since Wakanda Forever. And honestly, I think probably the first time I'd been to the theater since Wakanda Forever. Damn. So yeah, it's I mean, it's always a treat going to a new Marvel movie. It's always a treat because, you know, regardless of whether it's the greatest Marvel movie or just a good movie or just, you know, whatever, there's going to be something to surprise you. They're going to throw in a cameo that surprises you. They're going to throw in something delightful. There's going to be at least one moment where you say, gosh, that was delightful. I'm so glad they did that. That was fantastic. And Ant-Man.
So do we need to do a podcast where like you recite all those moments?
All of those moments. Yeah. We'll start a new podcast called That Was Delightful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now with 100% less onion rings?
Now with 100% fewer onion rings. Yes, 100%. Oh gosh, no. We would eventually deviate into onion rings. Like there's just no way.
I think if we made movies, there would be certain like background tidbits of things. Like,
see, this is why it would be.
There would always be a character named Jesse.
Yeah.
There would always be a turtle somewhere. And there would be a plate of onion rings.
So fun fact for any listeners who may end up coming to one of our trivia nights, there is always going to be at least one answer every time that is Jesse, where the answer is Jesse in some capacity. Like it might be more, it might have Jesse in the cumulative answer. Like it might be a sentence about Jesse or whatever, but there will always be an answer that involves Jesse. Okay. I'm just telling you right now. So secret hint. Anyways, you know what would be a great thing about being Ant-Man? You just think about it. Like you could literally get like a small order of onion ring and shrink down. And like you could like, if you shrink down, you could eat this and just like this entire bag of onion rings. It would be like a mountain of food.
Yeah.
And you could be like, oh, I just had one onion ring. Like,
I wonder how that works.
Or like seriously, like you don't even have to buy onion rings. You just be like, go to your friend and be like, hey, you got onion rings? Can I have one? Just one. I just want one. Yeah. Okay. Boom. shrink down. All of a sudden, Mount Onion Ring lieth before you.
But like, how does that work for like if you were say you were small?
Oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't work in the long term because like as soon as you go back, like as soon as he goes giant size, then he needs like way more food, right?
Yeah.
But that is the question. Like you go giant size, you need way more food. So you go small. Can you sustain yourself on less food?
Mm-hmm.
And does that change when you go back to normal size? Like if you're full when you're tiny, are you still full when you're normal size?
I mean, like those are legit questions that need to be
because answered. Think about it. Think about it this way. When he shrinks or grows, everything inside him shrinks and grows. So theoretically, that onion ring would also grow. That little bit of onion ring that's inside you would still grow. So if you're full, if you've eaten your fill of onion ring from this one onion ring, then the pieces of that onion ring would just grow inside with you and you'd still be full of onion ring.
See, there's questions.
No, I'm giving you the answers. This is science. I will have you know that I took a Science 10 class recently. So and
they went through the physics of that?
We went through the physics of onion rings and, PIM particles. So, it's a new section on PIM particles in science class now, but they are.
Because, that's what I was just wondering. Like, because, like, technically, you would think that it would grow, but would it not just still be the same?
Everything grows. There's not some things that grow.
Okay, so, like, here's this for you. And this is going to go delve into why this is an explicit podcast.
Oh no.
If you grew into Giant Man.
Yes.
And you rubbed one out.
Yeah.
Would
you have microscopic swimmers?
No, you should have large ones then.
Yeah, macroscopic. That's what I'm saying. You'd be able to see them.
Yeah. That'd be kind of terrifying.
That would be terrifying, especially if they're like swimming towards you. Like giant.
Now you've put everything in a completely different context.
Oh God. Can you imagine like that much blood though rushing?
Oh yeah. You would need more than orange slices after that.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
It's good. These are.
I wonder if there's a porn parody out there about that.
You know what? If there should be like an Ask Marvel where you can post these questions and they get back to you.
That would be one they probably wouldn't get.
The Marvel suggestion box. Yeah. That should be a thing.
Yeah. Anyway, so Quantumania. What did you think of Quantumania? It feels like you're skirting the question.
Onion rings aside, no, I really enjoyed Ant-Man Quantumania. I think it was definitely a stronger entry in the Ant-Man series than the second one. I was very glad to see the introduction of Kang, because we've only had little bits and pieces of him here and there. Obviously with the biggest coming from the Loki series. So it was great to finally see him in his full evil glory, and to really get to see the character portray a truly evil, malicious version of that character, because like I really felt like he was a terrifying and intimidating villain.
Yeah.
He was definitely like he was not, he just, the way he would be very cool and calm and even, slightly charming, and then just you see that turn on a dime, and his brutality and his his convictions and his ultimate plans. He's just like, this is a scary dude.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really great, because if you're gonna be following up Thanos, you need to be a pretty scary dude. And I think that they're going to be able to. It made me feel good that if this is where they're going with him being the major villain, I can see how he is going to be very threatening and very hard to deal with, basically. So,
well, yeah, his fight scene with Scott was pretty epic.
Yes,
and it was cool to see how hard his hits were hitting. Now, that being said, Scott did get quite a few good hits in.
Yes.
Which tumbled him back quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's like, okay, well, how scary is the one going to be that will cause the Avengers?
Right.
Like, what is his, because
and what is he gonna, like, what's his,
is it going to be either the brain power that is able to actually like manipulate, or is it going to be more actual like brawn, right?
Yeah. There was, but anyways, I quite enjoyed the film. I thought it was an interesting storyline. There was only a couple of things that bothered me with this movie. And I think you guys touched on at least one of them, in your review.
The awkward humor.
Well, not even the awkward humor, just MODOK in general was just kind of it just felt like it felt like it was kind of a weird, funny way to bring back that character.
Yeah. I like when he was being the killing machine.
Sure,
he was scary.
He was
right.
That was fine, but it was just. But then it was like they tried to give him like almost like a redemption arc within the movie, and it's like I just was like, I wasn't a big fan of that. The only other thing that bothered me about the movie was just the fact that it took so long for Michelle Pfeiffer's character to just fill them in on what was going on. It was like every 20 minutes they would be like, you need to tell us what's happening, who this threatening person is, what's going on. And then, I can't. And then big action sequence that distracts everyone. And then they're like, okay, now you really need to tell us what's going on. Who is this scary person? I can't. I was like, why? Yeah. Why can't you tell them? What, at this point, you're here. You're obviously heading very much towards a confrontation. Yeah. Just tell them. Yeah. Like, yeah, that frustrated me, but there was nothing that took away from my enjoyment of the film. It was more just like, it was just such a cliche thing to do, to be like, I can't.
Yeah. By the time you got sucked into the quantum verse, you just got to like spill it. It wasn't even like, honestly, if she had told them right off the bat, you would have avoided a lot of this.
Yes.
Right. Damn communication. Communication is the key.
Yes, right? Absolutely.
Because like it would have stopped Scott from breaking open or trying to put back the thing, right?
Yeah.
I get that. What or is there any standout moments for you?
Ooh, standout moments. I think when honestly, when he goes in the final battle and he goes full giant man and just like crashes into the place and just goes like berserk Ant-Man, like that was just phenomenal. Yeah. I enjoyed watching the fight scenes that really kind of showcased the abilities of Ant-Man too, like the shrinking and popping up and doing like all of that stuff. Like it's just like his unique thing. I mean, I absolutely loved the whole swarm of ant army showing up at the last minute to save the day. That was pretty epic.
He also gives Hank a bit of a redemption arc too.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought, that was great. I mean, I got a kick out of seeing Bill Murray. That was kind of less of a big epic moment, more of a kind of funny thing. So that was
a big thing. Like, who was Bill Murray going to be playing?
Yeah.
So, and it turned out to be more of a disposable character.
Right? Yeah, which is fine. Yeah. Like, I didn't have my heart set on him joining the MCU as a permanent. I was really hoping for some Groundhog Day references, but what are you gonna do? Or at least Ghostbusters. Like, come on.
I am really surprised that he didn't just voice MODOK. Right?
Oh, is that what you were thinking as a possibility? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Kind of as a one and done kind of feel versus bringing in the Darren Cross character, right?
Yeah, it was like, I don't know why they decided to like just basically make it like a distorted version of his face. Like, if you look at MODOK in the comic books, like he doesn't really look human at all. He doesn't have like he's clearly,
Well, like that's the thing that's confusing is like they don't really explain. Well, if maybe I missed it, but how he became a giant head and a little body.
Yeah, it was like, oh, Kang found me and
as this little big headed
did a thing,
baby thing.
Now I'm here.
And
now this is me. Yeah.
So just a problem, I guess, of transporting the way he did into the the quantumverse. Like,
I know. Well, you know, in the words of Doctor Strange, it's magic
and mystery.
No.
For me, the things that didn't really hit was some of the humor, mainly the humor that came with the redemption arc for Mona.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not a dick, right?
It's like, okay, yeah.
Like, there's a difference between, like, you know, her telling him, you don't have to be a dick all the time. That's fine. But then, like, you know, I for me, the best part of the movie honestly turned out to be that final battle with Kang. And how hard Scott went, because it was
the brutality
like
of it.
That final that figure where I actually need to stand up. This is a problem that's going to affect everyone, right? So
he came to terms with. He realized that, like, if I don't stop this now, this is going to, you know, potentially end everything. Yeah. Right. And so, like, being able to, and I think, like, it really speaks to his character, like, being, like, realizing the immense impact and significance of what was happening, and that, and just not like what am I going to do? What am I going to do? It's just I have to stop this now.
Yeah.
You know, like, he's such a great character, because he literally started out as a thief. Yeah. Just trying to do right by his daughter, right? And then, you know, like, and, you know, you see in Civil War how he's just, you know, when he meets Captain America and all that, like, he just feels so much like a normal guy, right? And not maybe on the same level as these other superheroes, right? But now with that, you know, this fight against Kang, you really see, like, he truly is, like, a heroic person and willing to make the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah. He's just happy to be there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing I thought that was interesting that I didn't touch on before is that at the end of the film, the very end of the film, after all the credits and everything, it actually says Kang will return.
Yes, that's right.
It doesn't actually say Ant-Man will return.
No, he's done. Yeah. And Paul Rudd passed away, sadly.
Now watch you eat your words, and he'll suddenly have, like, an aneurysm.
The curse that kept him young was tragically broken, and he just rapidly aged 500 years. And
someone broke his painting.
He is now a pile of dust somewhere. So unfortunately, we won't be seeing Ant-Man.
But yeah, I thought that was an interesting thing to say. Kang would return versus Ant-Man will return in Avengers or something like that. Like,
and that's good, because, you know, one thing with you know, the original the first three phases was you saw so very little of Thanos up until you know, the Infinity Wars and Endgame. He would be like, have a little pop into a cameo here and there, whereas, you know, now, like, we've already had an entire film where he's the villain already. And are we going to have more films where he's the villain? Are we going to have more series where he's the villain?
I kind of hope that
would be kind of cool. I mean, we already know that we're going to get a version as the main villain in Moon Knight season 2. So that's pretty exciting, because, I mean, if we see him,
and also Loki,
and also, of course, with Loki, right? Because there was that Loki credit scene in there. So, which, you know, really kind of made me excited for the.
Well, also too, like, the fact that, like, Loki never seemed frightened by Thanos.
No, Loki was never intimidated by Thanos. Loki just saw Thanos as a means to an end. Yeah. Right. But he's legitimately terrified of Kang, which is very cool. So
that's one thing that's kind of interesting to see, that look of, like, you know. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how it'll play out, and what we'll get. Like, it would be really cool. Honestly, if I was doing it, I would make a version of Kang for every team, or, like, he's there. Like, almost more of, like, the always there, you know, scheming and figuring out. Or,
like, I'd love to see, like, Hawkeye take on like Surfer Dude Kang, or like I don't know, like Thor taking on like nerdy pimply faced Kang, teenage Kang, like
Kang. That's actually the whatever player that he was playing against in.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah,
it'd just be interesting because then they could really flesh out and have all of these Kang show up and really show how much it's bleeding into the universe,
and then somehow have the final Kang be just like a culmination of all of these deadly Kangs that individually were nearly unstoppable, and now you've got some form of some culmination of all of them in one ultimate Kang.
Yeah. I'm really curious to see what it'll look like, because like the Ant-Man version was like the most comic booky Kang.
Yes. Yeah. I like how they did
saw
that.
Even when you saw like the Council of Kangs, or whatever it was, like he was the most regular comic book version. Like when I think Kang and I think of the comic books, that's the version I remember, right?
Yeah.
So that'll be the.
Do you think there's like an Australian Kang that goes by Kangaroo?
Could be.
That would be awesome.
He probably wears a jumper. Maybe has some Vegemite.
Ooh.
Yeah. So where was I going to go with this?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I derailed you. Different versions of Kang for each.
Oh, so now the beauty of the different versions of Kang is, I wonder if they'll be recasting Kang.
See, now that is
all the arrests and everything for Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, I mean, that is the one big advantage to introducing the concept of the multiverse is you can have it. Unfortunately, it would be somewhat undermined by the Council of Kangs, which showed up as every single version looking exactly like him. Yeah. But it would be a lot easier to accept that based on the fact that we have a multiverse where, there can be different.
They just need to refilm that scene and then like have like a weird like ribbon of color wash over it, and then they all change into the new version and be like, what happened? And the old one comes up and says something changed in one of the other multiverses.
Or it could be revealed that like the ultimate Kang is just such a narcissist. He just sees everyone and you're just seeing what he sees, and he sees all Kangs as himself.
Maybe. Yeah. I'm just curious to see what'll go down with this, because it could be a big hit for them. Yeah. Right. Because,
it is really unfortunate when that happens, that you have someone who is set to be such an integral part of something like that, and then they just don't know how to behave like proper human beings. Yeah. It's very sad.
Aggravated assault is not necessarily a good look.
Not something I support. No.
It's like all these actors are starting to get like their own like allegations and all these things. Like DC's just wrought with it.
Oh, that's
right. So yeah. We still got some time. So the phase.
Yes.
Going forward, are you excited?
I am super excited. I'm always excited. Like, regardless of anything that I've seen, anything that's come in the past, I am always excited for what Marvel does, because, like I said, Marvel always throws in something that makes me say that was delightful.
Well, we got Guardians coming up, and you mentioned the Secret Invasion, and then we have the Marvels. That's kind of the round out.
I am so scared for Guardians, because I feel like it's going to be just the tone of the trailer, the music in the trailer, what they showed in the trailer. I just feel like it's going to be an emotional gut punch of a movie that is going to leave me devastated.
Yeah.
But I'm still looking forward to it.
Oh,
it's going to be epic. I think it's going to. I feel like parts are going to reach that epic levelness that we're looking for. I really do.
Yeah. The emotional weight that is carried within that trailer, I think is something that is just going to resonate, it's going to hit harder than I think we expect.
Yes. I think as bad as we might think it might be, I think it's going to be worse. I think it's going to be worse. I'm fully prepared.
Well, it's his swan song. He knows that he's not making any more.
I'm fully prepared to sob.
Yeah. So I still wonder, because in the first movie it's brown textures on the title, and Groot has his untimely moment. The second one title card is red and blue, which was Yondu, and this one's brown and orange, which is Rocket's original colors. And we know the story is supposed to be Rocket's story. Gunn has said that.
Yes, you see there's flashbacks with Rocket
and talking about his creator and all that. So you're also seeing the Otter character, which I can't remember what her name was.
I don't.
Which is at one point was Rocket's wife or girlfriend in the comics. So like, are we gonna get a happy ending? Are we gonna get a sad ending?
I think it's gonna be it. I think we're gonna have what is ultimately a happy ending, but I think it's gonna cost us a lot to get there.
So
there's gonna be a lot of I would love I just hope that if Rocket does meet his untimely end, we get a eulogy from Groot.
That's fair.
Because I think that's going to... I think that would be just so meaningful. Like
a real, I am Groot, I am Groot, I am Groot. Or is it going to be like Silent Bob, where he just finally breaks and he actually speaks? It's like the deepest, most intellectual thing that's ever been said in an entire Marvel movie, and leaves everyone just like, holy shit. And then the next thing he just says is "I am Groot."
No, it's gonna be "I am Groot," but he's gonna deliver the most emotional "I am Groots" that you have ever heard, and you are just gonna instinctively know what every word he is saying, because it's just gonna be like, "I am Groot."
Yeah,
like you're just gonna and it's just gonna rip out my heart, stomp it on the floor.
I wonder if they probably won't, because it kind of stands on its own. But I was wondering if the High Evolutionary would have anything to do with any the push forward with mutant kind and all that, because he's had ties to that in the comics. Yeah,
I can't wait for mutants to start popping up. That's one thing I am also really excited for in this phase, is to start seeing mutants emerge. Yeah. And I love that they're gonna just like start throwing characters in here and there, rather than just jumping into like a whole.
Yeah, well, they've with Miss Marvel, they initiated that. Yes, She-Hulk had the on like the Google search page that she was reading about.
Yes, man stabbing
with metal claws.
With metal claws, yeah.
So
we've already got Cyclops.
So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they bring this all in. I know Fantastic Four is before the X-Men.
Yes.
So the mutants.
I'm so desperate for a good Fantastic Four movie.
I don't even know what that is, dude. So
you know what? I didn't dislike the original ones with Chris Evans and Jessica Alba and them. I enjoyed those.
They're fun for what they are.
Felt like they got way more hate than they deserved. Yeah. Honestly, I enjoyed. I thought they were fun. Yeah,
they're not bad films. They're just not.
No, but I mean, obviously, like you compare them to other, they're of a lower quality. Yeah. They're better than Morbius. And that other one,
word for you.
And that other movie that we're not going to talk about anymore, because we don't have the time for me to go off on another rage spiral. Yeah. But the newest one was,
they tried to do something very vastly different with that one, and so we don't speak about that.
We don't talk about that. That just never happened.
Yeah. Besides Marvel, you've got DC actually is finally bringing out their Flash movie.
Yeah.
This is a love and hate moment because of all the things that Ezra Miller went through.
Right.
So it kind of puts a big stain on it. My only redemption is that he is at least going to rehab. So not many people confess to their crimes in Hollywood and say, hey, I need help. So there is that. I know he still has his pending trial and whatnot. So I think at the end, I think everyone's just going to go see Keaton Batman.
Yeah.
Like I think that's legitimately the only reason this movie will make money is because it's Keaton as Batman.
It's just it feels like, you know, given you know, like what he's accused of, and just the fact that, you know, it's multiple occurrences, not just like, oh, I've slipped up one time kind of thing. It still just feels like he's getting off easy by
that's fair
allowing this movie to go forward. But at the same time, it's like hearkening back to one of our first podcast talks where we discussed the whole Joss Whedon thing, right? Yeah. And is it fair to punish everyone involved for one person?
Yeah.
Right. And I get it. Like, this is, I'm sure I can guarantee you, like, for a lot of people at DC, this was probably a real passion project, bringing this Flash movie to life. This is a big storyline. Like, this was a huge thing in the comics. And this was, you know, one of the most popular and well-known Flash storylines. Right. So I'm sure this was a big deal for everyone involved. And like you said, I mean, it's bringing Michael Keaton back as Batman.
And we already lost him once with Batgirl.
And
right.
So, and I have been dying to see how that's going to go. And based on the trailer, like that part of the movie with him looks fantastic. So but it's always going to feel a little bit bad,
a little icky. Yeah.
A little bit icky. But I think ultimately I am going to go see it.
I feel the same. I feel like I have enough excitement between Affleck as Batman, Keaton as Batman.
Yeah.
Like there's there, but it is the, you know.
Who knows who else is going to show up as Batman, right?
Right. All the Batman. Wait a minute, I thought this was a Flash movie. Nope, it's just Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see that. And I know Aquaman 2 is still coming out.
You know, that I don't really have any strong feeling towards that whatsoever at this point.
It's been so long. It's been
so long, and it's not like Aquaman was entertaining, but it wasn't like,
I don't think we've gone back and rewatched it.
I certainly haven't rewatched it. But like, like you said, it's been so long. Like,
well, because it was delayed and then it was delayed again. So now it's been like 2 years since its original release date or something. Like,
you know, more characters with controversies, or not characters, I should say, actors.
At least it's not Momoa. So yes, that's a bonus.
And you know what? Like, I think for me, Jason Momoa, I would love to see Jason Momoa be my new Rock. You know, he's now the Rock for me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I like his energy better.
Yeah.
He seems to have a good energy about him. But
yeah,
I could be wrong. Who knows? We'll see.
We'll see how it goes. I don't know. It's like there's so much.
All of the things that, you know, Peacemaker implied about him were just a little bit dicey, but.
Right? You know what, so we didn't even go see Shazam 2. Like,
is that out?
Yeah,
I didn't even know that was
came
out
yet. The last weekend.
Did it actually?
Yes.
Oh my goodness!
Kiddo had no desire. I showed him the trailer. He was just kind of like meh, and Katie was like meh, and so we didn't bother. I think it's going to be on digital rental soon.
Yeah, I think for that one, I don't mind waiting until it comes out on streaming, probably because
the trailers never hit.
The first one, I waited. Oh gosh, probably like a couple of years after. Until I finally watched it, and to be fair, I was pleasantly surprised.
It was the first one was fun.
It was not bad. Like it was much better than I thought it was going to be. It was enjoyable. I'd even go back and rewatch it, I think, sometime. But I'm just not. But yeah, again, this is just not. It's not like I'm dying to see it or anything.
I feel James Gunn has a real struggle going forward with being head of DC.
Yes.
And pushing forward because it's still so muddy.
Yes.
You're still got Reeves's Batman happening, but they've said they're going to introduce a new Batman that's part of this version of this cinematic. So they're going to have Elseworld tales, which is cool. So they're not constrained. They're able to tell other stories, but like some things might be more popular than others. And how do they change that by having Elseworlds be part of it?
Yeah.
You've still got the Joker movie going forward.
The Penguin spin-off series from the Reeves Batman. You
still have, say, Shazam 2, but then you have the Flash movie. You have, coming after that, you still got Blue Beetle and Aquaman 2. So, like, where do these pieces all fall for their brand new universe that they're creating?
Yeah.
Which is new actors, which, while there's other pieces, like, it seems like a real muddy slope. I still think that he should have walked away from those and gone back to his trauma roots, and he should have been spearheading the Toxic Crusaders live action universe.
You just the whole universe. You just like fully commit to the entire universe.
Yeah. Okay. I think they should cross over with Biker Mice from Mars. They both fight pollution.
Well, so does Captain Planet. Should he do a Captain Planet movie? Because I'd be down for that.
Hey, they're bringing out Captain Planet Pops.
Are they really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. That's awesome. There's at least 4 or 5. Not all the kids, I don't think, but it's Captain Planet. I saw that the other day.
Why would you not have all the Planeteers?
Maybe a wave 2. Who knows? Oh.
And Gaia. You got to have Captain Planet. You got to have Gaia. And you got to have the 5 Planeteers.
See? Look at that. See, there's your nerd rage right there. You're like, complete this set.
I might actually buy, that might be the first time I ever actually buy a Funko Pop.
Yeah. Captain Planet.
Yeah.
Captain Planet looked cool though.
I have been gifted them, but I've never actually bought one.
He's got like a little blue energy base, and so he's like flying.
That's so cool.
So yeah, that looked pretty cool. Yeah, no, I think he should go back to Trauma, and he should be making the relaunch Toxic Avenger with the Toxic Crusaders.
Okay.
I could be there for that.
Well, you're entitled to your opinion.
I think he would do great with that series because it's grotesque. It takes him back to his horror roots, right?
It would certainly be different from anything that's out there right now.
Is very humorous, right? And when it gets to the Crusader aspect, there's like that family aspect that he likes to put in there.
So let me ask you then. Yeah. Let's say that this miraculously comes to be. Who is your fan cast for Toxie?
I don't know. That's a hard one. You need someone that's very upbeat but big.
The Rock.
No. No. You know what? I'll take John Cena. If I have to pick a wrestler,
yes.
If I have to pick a wrestler,
he would actually be legitimately good in that role. I think
as Toxie, like because he plays that goofy, happy-go-lucky because he's got a bit of that earnest vibe, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
If we had to pick a wrestler, then I would go there.
You don't have to pick a wrestler, but I think that's a fantastic choice, nevertheless. So,
and only if he could get Batista to play Major Disaster. Like I know Batista won't because Batista doesn't want to be in any movies with any other wrestlers. But
the real question is, why don't we have a Weasel spinoff yet?
He's going to be in the animated series.
Yes, I heard that.
The Dark or whatever it is they're bringing out. Some animated series that they're doing. He's in that.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a prequel, of course.
To
Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The one there with Frankenstein and stuff like that.
Oh, right.
He's going to be part of that team.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll do anything. Like I know there's a Toxic Avenger movie coming out. It's in like.
Is there really?
It's in development hell. Troma licensed it to Universal and Legendary.
Oh, okay.
And Peter Dinklage is voicing Toxie.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't see it.
No.
I just don't see it. That's
so weird.
He's so harsh sounding. Like.
Yeah.
So. I don't know if they're going more for like the
well, that's probably because they hadn't considered John Cena.
Right.
So you should let them know that that's a possibility now.
I think James Gunn does a good job casting when he creates his characters.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
so
look, I'm looking at what he's done. I'm very happy with his work. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I sincerely hope that he is able to revitalize DC in a way that makes it more enjoyable, palatable.
Well, he's diving right into the deep end by writing and directing Superman.
Yes,
Superman Legacy.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be a hard sell.
I think so too. Because
I'm down for it.
Just because of the fact that Henry Cavill was so loved as Superman, and the news of him stepping down. Well,
okay, I'm gonna throw down a moment here. He did a great job.
He did.
Man of Steel, he did a great job. He barely was in V vs. S, and he barely was in Justice League. So we've really only seen him play Superman once.
Yeah.
In full with a supporting cameo role almost in the other two movies. Like he I guess V vs. S is more of a supporting role, but like,
BVS was all about Wonder Woman for me.
The amount of love that he does have borderlines on the cult, right? Because it's so hardcore that people even dismiss Reeves, but he got to play Superman like 4 or 5 times.
Reeves is a great Superman.
Right?
He was fantastic.
It's interesting to me just see like he plays a character pretty much one solid movie with 2 supporting roles, and it's just like he's the be all end all, like he's the only Superman.
I even like Brandon Routh's Superman.
He did a good job. He was just shoehorned into playing Reeves' Superman.
Well, that's the only thing, right? He wasn't really like, he was brought in because he was, a bit of a Reeves doppelganger in that sense.
And that's why I think it was so great to see him when he played Superman in the Arrowverse.
Right.
Like that.
Get him to see the little bit more.
A different, the Kingdom Come almost version of Superman.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. I'm curious to see who they'll cast and what poor bastard has to play it, because it's going to be huge trunks to fill. And,
massive trunks and boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a hard one, like, to figure out that balance. With Gunn's catalog, I feel like he's got a pretty good, between the Guardians movies, even the Suicide Squad, but even like going back to Slither and Super and stuff like that, like he's got a pretty good quirky catalog. So for him to do something so mainstream will be interesting.
Absolutely.
Right? Like to tackle.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more mainstream things that he would have done for sure. Like, right? God, I mean, I don't envy anyone trying to bring a character like that onto the screen, because you're never going to please everyone. Not in this DC era, though. And not in this DC era, too.
Because there's people that still believe that Schneider, when he has his Comic-Con at the end of April, which is a screening of all 3 of his films, that the way the poster's positioned means he's going to announce that he's got 2 more films coming.
Oh.
The way Superman's hand is, it's not the same statue hand. It's like his hand slightly raised, all 5 fingers. And then
people have way too much time on their hands.
And so it's just, yeah. That's why I say he needs to go back and make Toxic Crusaders instead. Like, leave all these established things and make a dope ass Toxic Crusaders movie. Hey, I would even take Gunn doing a live action Ninja Turtles. I think he could handle that family dynamic really well with his banter.
Yeah.
Granted, I want the guys that choreographed John Wick to choreograph a live action Ninja Turtles movie.
Oh, okay.
Imagine that type of action, but like with the banter from Gunn's writing.
Yeah.
That's what I would love to see.
And then just a sprinkle of Michael Bay for explosions.
No more Michael Bay. He had his chance to produce Turtles. And his stink is lingering.
It's true.
Between, as much as Rise was a fun cartoon, that's what they were based off of, and even with a new trailer, they still have hints of the Bay Turtles and the Rise Turtles.
Yep, they sure do.
With the bandana for Raph, and like the glasses on Donnie.
Yeah.
Right? And like, can we just get past the fact that nerds wear glasses?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I don't know. That being said, the trailer did look, but in that way, right? Like,
But cool people also wear glasses, though.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you don't. I don't know. I think it's because they're playing the stereotype.
Oh yeah,
right.
They 100% are.
Like if they put glasses on Raph, right? Like They tried putting sunglasses on Raph, I guess, and that didn't fly.
Well, yeah. I mean, do you think you could get custom lenses made for those bulbous, big, bulging eyes? Like, geez.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We have to figure out, like, I know, like it'll be a while to, get all the movies, any more TV to do another Marvel. We got to figure out a new series that we watch so we can come back and discuss.
Well, that's fine. That's easy. I mean, we're not just one trick ponies.
That's true.
We have multiple tricks. We're tricking out all over town.
And if you want to see more of that, call Jesse's cell phone at 555-555.
Oh.
And he'll get tricky.
I'll get all up in your business.
On these days, he'll be here.
Are we seriously just like pimping me out right now?
Yeah, we are actually.
Oh gosh.
That's
Hi, Mom. Thanks for listening.
But yeah, so I guess we've hit the end.
Yeah, I think we've covered everything that we needed to, and hopefully have set up some, ideas for the future as well. So you can come back and listen to us again.
Yeah. We should do it. We should do it more frequently versus how we have. That would be good. That would be good. Yeah. You got any final words for the people in listener lands? Do you want to put anything in anyone's ears before you leave?
I would like to say to everyone, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you providing us, giving us this platform to just ramble on and on and on sometimes. I hope that you appreciate our takes and our ideas, and maybe you learned a little something, and, God bless onion rings.
Thanks for listening, everybody. And remember, stay rad.